This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So the today's concept is layers. So this is the heart of the coding. So that means for development team especially, this is the heart of the topic. Okay. So let's see what does this mean and how do we do it. So the first point is you take any application. Okay, you take any application, there will be two flows. Okay, there will be two flows. First one is unidirectional flow. Second one is bi-directional flow. Okay, please understand this. Today's topic is layers. So you take any application, there will be two flows, unidirectional flow, bi-directional flow. What is the meaning of unidirectional flow? Let's take an example. Okay, let's take an example. Now you can go to the website and create an account. You can go to the website and create the account. When you create the account, are you getting back any data from database? Are you getting back any data from database? Let's say here I enter Chenna RRS. Okay, so Chenna RRS. Okay, something at gmail.com something. So 1234 1234 1234 1234 and say register. When I click on register, this is the UI, right? In the UI, we entered lots of data. Please understand clearly. In the UI, we entered lots of data. This data will be created in the database. This data will be sent to the database. This data will be sent to the database. And in the database, customer will be created, right? So let's say this is the SAP Commerce database. And SAP Commerce database, it may be HANA, it may be something else, whatever it may be. So here customer type is there. So in that, so this record get created. What is the record? Chenna space RRS, like that will be created. Now, am I getting back any data? Am I getting back any data?
No.
No. So if the scenario is like this, call it as a unidirectional flow. If the scenario is like this, call it as a unidirectional flow. So please understand very clearly. And you can see here, I use the terminology called you take any application. It need not be commerce application. You take any application. Okay. So mainly two flows will be there. There will be mainly two flows. First one is unidirectional flow. Example is what? Example is registration flow. Example is registration flow. Okay, example is registration flow. So if you see the registration flow, so in the UI, this is the front end. Okay, so FED. FED means front end development. So this is the front end. So here we are entering lots of data. This data all the way go to the database and create in the database. We are not getting back any data from database. So if the situation is like this, call it as a unidirectional flow. Call it as a unidirectional flow. Now, bidirectional flow. What is the example for bidirectional flow? Let's say order status. Let's take the order status. It's a bidirectional flow. Why it is a bidirectional flow? Let's observe this. Let's say I will go to the Flipkart. Okay, let's say I will go to the Flipkart. So you can see in the Flipkart. Okay, so let's go to the orders. Okay, so let's say these are the orders. In the Flipkart, these are the orders. Now I click on this order number. When I click on the order number, what happens? Tell me. Please understand this. This is the bidirectional flow example. So I'm just going to the Flipkart. Okay, and click on this order number. When I click on the order number, what exactly happens? Tell me. When I click on the order number, what exactly happens? You can tell me.
It's order details.
Okay, so this order number all the way go to the database. this order number all the way go to the database. Let's say this is the database. So SAP Commerce database, it may be Oracle, it may be something else, not a matter here. And here you have a order table, order entries table. Okay, order table is there and order entries table is there. And here we have the data. So means records. So here we have data means records. So therefore, now let's say this order number is, assume that this order number is 1000. Okay, so assume that this order number is 1001. So then this order number will send to the database. Okay, so order number, okay, so will send to database, and here some kind of query will be triggered. So let's say select start from order or order entry. Okay, select start from order or order entry. Okay, based on what? Based on this order number, right? Based on this order number 1001. So you can see here. So I click on the order number. Can you see this one? I click on the order number. The moment I click on the order number, request all the way going to the database. Okay, request all the way going to the database. Then from the database, we are getting back the results. Is that clear? From the database, we are getting back the results. Is that clear?
Question.
So that means we are getting back the results from the database. You can see, so this is the results we are getting back from the database. This is the results we are getting back from the database. Okay, so this is the results we are getting back from the database. So these results we are taking and again displaying in the UI. These results we are taking and again displaying in the UI. These results we are taking again displaying in the UI. So that means if the scenario is like this, then it is a bidirectional flow. You are sending the data, you are getting back the data. If the scenario is like this, it's a bidirectional flow. Can you please understand this? Can you please understand this? So you take any application, mainly two flows are there. Unidirectional flow, example is registration. So why registration? Here you are entering the data, all the data will carry to the database and create in the database. That's it. Now bidirectional flow, example is order status. You can see, so you are clicking on the order number, that order number all the way go to the database, and in the database you will try to get the data related to this order number, again displaying in the UI. So if the scenario is like this, then it's a bidirectional flow. If the scenario is like this, then it is a bidirectional flow. Now tell me, is there any scenario which is not unidirectional, not bidirectional? Now tell me, is there any scenario which is not unidirectional, not bidirectional? Do you have any scenario which is not unidirectional, not bidirectional?
No.
Okay, no, right? So that means if we understand, okay, if we, now two things we need to consider. Now two things we need to focus. What are the two things? First one is how unidirectional code, bidirectional code is given, because this website is having lots of the code. Because this website is having lots of the code. So therefore, now we need to focus on two things. So the first one is how unidirectional, okay, unidirectional and bidirectional code is given. Okay, so code is given. So then we need to understand that. Second one is how to write our own code. So two things we need to focus here. One is how the OOTB code is given. So this is called out of the box code. Okay, how the unidirectional flow code is given and bidirectional flow code is given. That means we need to understand the out of the box code. Then we need to understand how to write our custom code. So if we focus these things, then we are good to write the coding. If we focus these things, then we are good to write the coding. So the next 4 to 5 hour session is on the first part. After that 5 hour session is on the second part. Understanding the existing code is important. Then understanding the writing the new code is also important. Both are important. So therefore, we have two flows, unidirectional flow, bidirectional flow. Most of the code is maybe unidirectional flow or bidirectional flow. So you take, okay, cart, order, checkout, okay, account creation, account fetching, fetching the details, whatever you take, it may be unidirectional flow or bidirectional flow. So that means now we need to focus two things mainly. So the first one is how the unidirectional flow, bidirectional flow is code is given. Second one is how to write our own code. If we understand these two, that's it, you will be able to write the code. As I mentioned, so our focus, next 4 hours focus is the first part. After that, we'll see the second part.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right. As I said, so we need to mainly focus on two things. One is how unidirectional code is given, how bidirectional code is given. In a simple word, how the out of the box code is given. Similarly, we need to focus on how to write our custom coding, our custom code. So we'll see this. Let's keep this point aside. Then let's start with the new point. Then these 2 points we will connect after a few minutes. So the next one is, okay, so SAP Commerce. SAP Commerce allows us to write the code in structured way. What does that mean, structured way? We will understand. Next, SAP Commerce allows us to write loosely coupled programming, loosely coupled code or programming. So what does that mean? We'll understand. Or SAP Commerce is having different layers to write the code. So therefore, generally people ask the question, hey, can you explain how SAP Commerce is having structured way of coding? Can you explain how SAP Commerce is having loosely coupled coding? Can you explain what are the different layers in SAP Commerce? Or what is the advantage of layers coding? How it is going to reduce the coding efforts or coding duration, and so on, so like that people ask the question. So the answer for all these questions is same. That is nothing but you can see after installation we are getting 7 extensions. After installation we are getting 7 extensions. These are nothing but different layers. These are nothing but different layers. We'll understand now. These are nothing but different layers. So we'll understand now and see the advantage of these 7 extensions. See the advantage of these 7 extensions here. So let's say now, so yesterday and day before yesterday, we focused on back office customization, right? Is back office customization is a different way of coding or normal coding? Did you learn the new way of coding for back office customization or not? Did you learn the new way of writing the back office customization? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So let's say Chenna is master in doing the back office customizations. Then I can ask Chenna to work here. Chenna is the master to do the back office customization. Then whatever back office customizations are there, I can give to Chenna so that the advantage is what? I can get the best product in the less time. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next, second point. Let's say RRS is the master in data modeling. So that means he know how to create the table, how to create the type, how to create the relation, how to follow the best practices. Following that best practice is also very important. So let's say RRS is the master in database. Okay, so then I can ask RRS to sit here and give the best database for my company. Then what is the advantage? I will get the best product, best results in the shortest time because he is already master. Next, third one is, let's say, okay, so let's say Vishnu is a master in UI. So that means Vishnu knows, okay, how to create nice UI, nice JavaScript, nice, okay, HTML, nice styling and all. Then I can ask Vishnu to sit here. Okay, so Vishnu is the master in UI, and I can ask Vishnu to sit here and give the best UI for my company. So that means I will get the best UI in the shortest time with more quality. Okay, next, let's say Ravi. Ravi is the testing expert. So that means he know how to do the performance testing, load testing. Okay, you can see it, please. Writing the UI is a different way of coding. Writing the performance test scripts, load test scripts, can you do it? Or there is a different team for it?
Different team.
Different team. So let's say, okay, Raj is the master for doing that kind of testing, like a load testing, performance testing, all those things. So I can ask to Raj to sit here and give the best scenarios for load testing, performance testing, that scripts all these things and keep it here. That way I'm going to get the best results in the shortest time. Best results in the shortest time. See the power of the coding here. See the power of the coding. Now let's say Santosh is the master and so let's say for my company, let's take the example of Flipkart. Just now we have seen. Is it easy to manage this data here? Okay, so like this product, that product, okay, variant, this variant, that variant, plug this variant, all this. If you are not understanding the data, can you do this one very easily?
No.
No. Let's say for your company, how many languages are there, how many currencies are there, how many taxes are there, okay, and which country what tax, all these things, different things. And this variant belongs to this category, this product belongs to this category, this product belongs to this category. Like that, so much of data is there for your company. Do you think that everyone can do? Do you think that everyone can do? No, in the company there will be specific people. So let's say Sanjay is the master in the data. Then I can ask Sanjay to sit here and give the best data for my company. Okay, so let's say Sanjay is the master in data. So that means impexes in a simple word. He is the master in data. Data means impexes here. Then I can ask Sanjay to sit here and give the best data impexes for my company. So that means I can get the best results in the shortest time. See the quality of the product here. See the quality of the product now. Now let's say Soumit is a master in Java. Okay, Soumit is a master in Java. Then I can ask Soumit to sit here and give the nice business logic for my company. All the business logic sit here. Okay, let's say Soumit is master in Java. So then I can ask Soumit to sit here and give the nice business logic for my company. So then what is the output? He is already master in the Java, so he can write the best logic in the shortest time. That means my product is best, okay, and in the less time. My product is best and in the less time. Next, so the next one is assume that, okay, assume that Shruti, okay, Shruti is master in fulfillment. That means she knows what to do after order placement, how to ship it, how to label it, what to do, what is the how the fulfillment process. So much will be there here after order place. Assume that okay, Shruti is the master in fulfillment process. Then I can ask Shruti to sit here and give the best options for the fulfillment. Okay, fulfillment. So that means what I will get the best fulfillment results. That means how to ship it, how to after placing the order, where to go, what are the different combinations, what happen if it is old, what happen if the credit card is not good, what happen this, that, this. So many combinations are there. Okay, so therefore, see the fulfillment master, she can write the code, she can go to the different options and write the code in the best way in the shortest time. Now, if the product is designed like that, if the site is designed like that, can you visualize the quality of the website? Now you can visualize the quality of the website. Now you can visualize the quality of the website. Now do you see the power of the coding? Now do you see power of the different layers? Do you see power of different extensions? And do you see the power of loosely coupled coding? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes. This is the best example to understand the power of the SAP Commerce. Why I said by using SAP Commerce, 40% development time is less, 40% of development code is less. Why SAP Commerce is very famous in the market? This is the best advantage because we have structured way of writing the coding. So all the testing team can use this extension to write the test scripts. All the UI team can use this to write the nice UI. All the data team can come here and give the nice data for me. All the fulfillment team can come and give the nice fulfillment for me. So all the Java people can come here and write the nice business logic. All the database experts can come here and give the excellent database for me with the primary keys, whatever you call it as. Next, so all the back office customizations. This is a different way of writing the coding. So we can do here. So this is why we are calling it as. Now you can link these points. Now can you link these points, please? I said SAP Commerce allows us to write the structured way of writing the coding. Is that correct? Because all the UI you can write here, all the data you can write here, all the business logic you can write here, all the database logic you can here. Is it a structured way of writing the coding, or you are just mixing here and there? If you are mixing here and there, if you are mixing here and there, then less quality, more time, confusing, less, then the output is also not good. Okay, so that's why I said a structured way of writing the coding. So this is the answer for it. Next, SAP Commerce allows loosely coupled coding. Is this the loosely coupled coding? Because
Yes,
all the database logic here, all the back office logic here, and so on, so on, so all the testing logic is here, all the UI logic is loosely coupled. Next, so the third one is SAP Commerce is having different layers to write the code. Yes, these are the layers. So that means all the UI you are writing here, all the business logic you are writing here, all the database you are writing here, all the data you are writing here, all the testing related things you are writing here, and so on, so on. This is the power of SAP Commerce. This is the advantage of SAP Commerce. That's why SAP Commerce is more powerful when you write the code. Okay. Now I said SAP Commerce allows the loosely coupled coding, right? Loosely coupled coding. Can you give me one example of loosely coupled in your real life? I think I answered it, right? Day-to-day life, loosely coupled coding example. I think I answered, right? Yes or no? SAP Commerce loosely coupled coding example.
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. So, okay. In day-to-day activity, can you give one example of loosely coupled thing which you are using? In the day-to-day activities, can you give one example which is a loosely coupled thing which you are using? Quickly, please.
For transport, we can use public transport
How that is a loosely coupled?
because they are providing the service. We don't need to maintain those.
Good. So now let's say nowadays we have the laptops, right? Okay. So let's say you have the monitor. So assume that this is the monitor and this is the keyboard. And which company keyboard is the best for rough and tough purpose?
Dell.
I heard rough and tough purpose. Dell. Logitech, right? Is it not? Okay.
Dell.
So, People says Logitech keyboard is rough and tough, right? Okay, so let's go with the Dell. So you are saying Dell keyboard is for rough and tough, and my requirement is okay. My requirement is okay. I want rough and keyboard, rough and tough keyboard. Now I want best monitor quality. Which is the best monitor quality? Which is the monitor in the best quality?
Samsung, LG.
Samsung. Okay, so you can go with the LG or Sony, whatever it is. Okay, so let's say you are going with this monitor. Okay, now so there is a CPU here, something. Okay, which is the best CPU? CPU
Intel.
difficult to tell, right?
Intel.
Intel CPU. Okay, whatever it is. And let's say finally there is a mouse here. Let's say finally there is a mouse here. Which is the best mouse here? Again, rough and tough.
Logitech.
Logitech. Okay. Finally, you agreed for one. Okay, good. So let's say Logitech mouse. Okay, so this is how you have the setup. So this is called a loosely coupled, right? The advantage is what? You are getting the best product. Yes or no? Because best monitor, best keyboard, best CPU, best mouse. You got the best quality product. Plus, another advantage is what? Let's say tomorrow your keyboard is not working. Can you see the power of this loosely coupled here? Can you see the power of the loosely coupled? Let's say tomorrow your keyboard is not working. Your keyboard is not working, and due to the lockdown, no Dell keyboards in the market. No Dell keyboards in the market. But Trivikram is your friend. He is having a Samsung keyboard. Can you connect it? Can you use it?
Yes.
That's the power of loosely coupled. That is what exactly we are able to achieve here. Now you can visualize the power of this. So two advantages. You are getting the best product. Plus, so let's say tomorrow Dell keyboard is not working, and in the market no Dell keyboards, or you don't have time to go to market. Then Trivikram is your friend and he is next to your house. He is having the Samsung keyboard. No problem. You can just unplug this and start plugging to Samsung keyboard and use it. So that is the power of loosely coupled coding. That is the power of loosely coupled coding. So that's why by using SAP Commerce, and you can see here, so all the UI is here. So that's why some companies use as UI. Some companies use as the Spartacus. So when they use the Spartacus, right? Can you see this one, please? Can you guys pay attention? So I said all the UI is here, right? Now let's say you are working for a Chroma company and they don't want this UI, they want Spartacus. Then you no need to use this. Instead of this, you can use the Spartacus. Now do you see the power of this coding? So that's what a simple example. If you go with the Spartacus, you will not have this here. If you go with the Spartacus, this UI will not be there. Spartacus will have its own UI. This UI will not be there. Spartacus will have its own UI. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So therefore, if you go with the Spartacus, this will not be there. You can go with your own. That means you can easily replace any layer. You can easily replace any layer, loosely coupled. Okay, you can easily replace anything here. So therefore, that's why I'm telling. Okay, that's why I'm telling SAP Commerce is having structured way of writing coding, loosely coupled coding, and different layers of coding. Now, do you see the advantage of these different layers, loosely coupled, and so on, so on, so? All right. Now let's come here. As I said, all the UI logic we write here, all the data means impexes we write here, all the fulfillment we write here, all the Java logic, business logic means facades, all those things we'll write here. Okay, so database means we can write here, and so on, so on, so just now I explained. Then some companies may have more extensions also. Some companies may have more extensions also. So that means they are doing more loosely coupled. So let me stop sharing my screen.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so as I mentioned, so by default we are getting 7 extensions, right? By default we are getting 7 extensions, and we have understand what kind of code we write here. So you can see right side, some companies may have more extensions also. Some companies may have more extensions also. That means they are doing more loosely coupled coding. For example, can you guys pay attention? So the right side is okay, more loosely coupled. So the example is what you can see in the old versions. In the old versions, okay, now you can see here, please. CC core. CC core means this one. Sorry. CC core means this one. Next, CC passards means this one. Then fulfillment means this one. Initial data means this one. Okay, now you can see storefront means this one. Test means this one. That means, do you see extra here? Do you see extra here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's it.
What are the extra here? So these two are extra. These two are extra. And this is in the old versions I told, right? In the latest version, you have the back office. In the old versions, we have the cockpits here. This is one more conclusion you can remember. So this is the old version. We have the cockpits. So this is the old version. We have the cockpits. In the latest version, you have the back office. That's fine. Now you can see here we have 2 more extra. The reason is why 2 more extra here? Because in this company we have lots of integrations. That's why we created 1 more extension and putting integration logic here. Why integration logic we are putting here? Let's say today integration is hard folder. Tomorrow we don't want to go to hard folder. Then I can delete this and put whatever I want. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes. That's why all the integration we are keeping in a separate folder. Next, second scenario. You can see we also have 1 more new extension here. So that means in this company, we are writing lots of services. Services to export the data, services to give the data for outside the commerce and all. So those are all we are writing, that code, that logic we are writing in this extension. So that means more loosely coupled coding. That means more loosely coupled coding. Like that in the real time, you may have more extensions also. So let's say in the real time, this very frequently use here. Let's say in the real time, you might be using PayPal. Then you will see something like a ChennaReddyTraining PayPal like that. Okay, so you will see here ChennaReddyTraining PayPal like that. So that means what? All the payment related logic you are keeping here. The advantage is what? Tomorrow, if you don't want to PayPal and go with some other vendor. So let's say you want to go with a Card Connect. Then you can delete this and replace with the new code. That is the excellent advantage of this loosely coupled coding, structured way of coding, different layers of coding. Okay, different layers of coding. So why I'm spending this much of time is, this is having that much of advantage when you compare with other technologies here. Okay, that's it. Next, one more point you need to remember is, let's say here RRS is creating one table. Is this a table for himself or it is used by all the people? Let's say RRS is creating one table. So that with that table, Soumit has to write some Java logic, business logic. With that table, okay, with that for that table, let's say Sanjay needs to write some data. With that table, okay, our table data, Vishnu writes some UI logic. With that table, you need to do some back office customization. So that means if RRS is creating a table, that table visibility should be available for other extensions. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
And do you need to do any extra thing? No, these are already connected already. So these are all connected already. You don't need to do any extra activity. These are all connected already. You don't need to do any extra activity. Where the connection between one extension connect to another extension. One extension can depend upon another extension. Where the dependency is mentioned?
Local extensions.
Where the dependency is mentioned?
Local
Extension.
Extension
Ravi.
XML.
Extensions info.xml. You can see there is a extensions info.xml. So here you can see the dependency. So this particular extension depending on this particular extension depending on this, like that. So this we already covered it, but just recapping it. So therefore, what I am trying to say that one extension can depend upon another extension, can depends on another extension. So that extension's dependency is defined in extensions info.xml. Extensions info.xml. You can see, so this is the extension right now, facade extension. So if I go here and open it, facade extension depends upon, so you can see facade extension depends upon star core extension and accelerator facade extension. Like that, this dependency is already defined, and if you want to define also, you can define it. One extension can depends upon one or more other extensions. One or more other extensions. That extension dependency is there in the extensions info.xml. And what is the tag name? You need to remember the tag name also. So requires extension. So this is the one, requires extension. So with the requires extension, you can define the dependency. That's it. Okay, now let's come back to our original discussion. So as I told you, you take any application, two flows are there, unidirectional flow, bidirectional flow. In case of unidirectional flow, okay, in case of unidirectional flow, can you see this one please? In case of unidirectional flow, so all the UI logic is written here, impacts is written here, something like that. So in case of unidirectional flow, what are the different layers of code involved? What are the different layers of code involved? Further, the answer is definitely, you can see this UI is there, presentation layer is there. Okay, this UI is there, presentation layer is there. Can you see this one please? This UI is there, presentation layer is there, and you are entering all the data, clicking on this button. When you click on the button, which will be called?
Controller.
When you click on the button, which will be called? Controller will be called here. So therefore, what are the different layers of coding? So the first one is UI layer. So that means whatever you are seeing here, this is called UI layer or presentation layer. Then you are clicking on this button, then controller will be called. Okay, so controller will be called. From the controller, it will go to facade layer. So you can see this is the facade layer. So where can we write the controllers? Controllers we write in the storefront here. Controllers we write in the storefront. So UI and controller we write in the storefront, and it will go to the facade layer. Okay, so from the facade layer, it will go to the service layer. In the service layer, we perform the DB operation. We perform the DB operation. That's it. So these are the different layers of coding. So that means whatever you are showing here, which is called a presentation layer. Then from that you are clicking on the button, then you are going to the controller. From the controller, it will go to the facade layer. And what to do in the facade layer, I will explain. What to do in the facade layer, I will explain. For now, just remember that there is one more layer called the facade layer. Okay, so then it will go to the service layer. In the service layer, okay, we perform the database operations. Now I am using the word called layer, right? What is the meaning of layer here? In the simple word, you can say layer is nothing but the file. Okay, layer is nothing but the file. Instead of writing all the code in one file, you are putting the code in the multiple files. Why? What is the reason? Loosely coupled. So therefore the question is, can we write all this code? Can we write all this code in single file? Possible, but that's called tightly coupled coding. Which we don't want, and our aim is to go with a loosely coupled coding. We want loosely coupled coding. That's why we are having different layers. Is that clear? Don't think that layer means what. Layer means, layer is in a simple word, it's a file, that's it. Layer means it's a file, that's it. So therefore, in case of unidirectional flow, what are the different layers of coding? So UI coding, all the UI coding is available in which extension? Tell me. Storefront extension. All the controls are available in which extension? Storefront extension. All the facades are available in which extension? Facades extension. All the database logic is available in which extension? Core extension. All the back office logic is available in the back office extension. All the implexes are available in which extension? Initial data extension. All the fulfillment logic is available in which extension? Star fulfillment extension. Are you guys are listening?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now let's come back here. So what are the different layers of coding involved? Okay, presentation layer, controller, facade layer. What exactly we do in the each layer, we will understand here. What exactly we will do in the each layer, we will understand. Don't worry, just start understanding one by one. Then finally perform the DB operation. So what is the meaning of layer? It's a file, and so on, so on, so on. Next. Now here we have a UI layer, here you have a controller, here you have a facade, here you have a service and all. So UI will be, okay, so UI will be JSP or tag file or HTML, CSS, and so on, so on. Now the question is, to create UI, am I going to have only one file, or it can be collection of the files? To create UI, am I going to have only one file or more than one file?
Collection.
More than one. So that means we can have greater than one JSP or greater than one tag file, greater than or equal to tag file. Okay, so we can have greater than or equal to one CSS file, and so on, so on. We can have multiple. Next, what is the controller? Okay, what is the facade layer? What is the service layer? All these are simply Java files. All these are Java files. That's it. Okay, based on the logic, what you write, you will call with a different name here. So let's say simple example. Let's take the simple example. Okay. Okay. So tell me, you all studied the C language, right? I am writing a program like this. So tell me, what is this program? Tell me, what is this program? It is a C program, but this program is what? Display your name. Now let's say I am writing a C program like this. Main, okay, if 20 less than 30, printf 30 is big, else printf 20 is big. Now, so this is also C program, but this C program is called what? This is a C program, this is a C program, this is a C program, this is a C program. This program is what? Display your name. This program is what? Find big number among two numbers. Find a big number among two numbers. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so yes. So this program is to display your name. You are calling with a different name. So therefore, based on the logic what you are writing, you are calling with a different name. Based on the logic what you are writing, you are calling with a different name. Similarly, your controller is a Java file, facade is a Java file, service is a Java file. There is one more thing called DAO is a Java file, and so on, so on. So all these are Java files. But based on the logic what you write, you will call with a different name. But based on the logic what you write, you will call with a different name. See this here. This is the simplest, powerful answers here. When I was learning, I keep on get confused. What is this controller? What is this facade? All are Java files only. Okay. However, in the C language, based on the logic, you are calling with a different name. Based on the logic, you are calling with a different name. Similarly, you write a specific logic here. That's why you are calling it as controller. You write a specific logic here. That's why you are calling it as facade. You write specific logic here. That's why service layer. You write specific logic here. That's why it is a DAO. What is that specific logic? We will find out. What is that specific logic? We'll find out here. Don't worry. We will understand. But for now, that is the conclusion. For now, that is the conclusion. Okay. So now let me ask you a question. Simplest way, simple question. So now Java file is a controller, right? So when can we call a Java file is a controller? Let's take one example, then you will see. So now I have a Java file. When can you call it as a controller? When can we call a Java file is a controller? Anyone?
If it is related with controller annotation.
Yes, very good. So you can see here, please, cart controller.java, right? So let's say cart controller.java. You can see here cart controller.java. So this is a Java file. That's it. This is a Java file. Then what is the specialty of this Java file? This Java file is having at controller annotation and it is having the request mapping. If you see this kind of at controller annotation and request mapping, then it's a controller file. Like this, based on the logic, you will differentiate the file or you will call with a different name. Is that clear? Okay. Okay, very good. Now all these are Java files. So when can we call at controller annotation, and you will also have at a request mapping. That's it. Now the next point is, so if I take a flow, let's take the registration flow. In the registration flow, do you think that there will be only one controller, only one facade, only one service, or it can be multiple also? Let's take the registration flow. So do you think that there will be only one controller, one facade, one service like that, or it can be multiple? Can be multiple also. That's it here. So that means I can have more than one controller file, more than one service file, more than one facade file, more than one DO file, and so on, so on. So is that clear, everyone? Is that clear, everyone?
Sure.
Yes, we will see in detail all these things here, but these are the nice functionalities or nice conclusions you need to remember. That's it here. That's it on this unidirectional flow. So now let's recap quickly, please. Unidirectional flow. So unidirectional flow, this is the unidirectional flow. The reason is we are entering the data go and create in the database. We are not getting any data from the database. So if you have a scenario like this, you can visualize it as a unidirectional flow. Now in the unidirectional flow, what are the different layers of coding involved? So presentation layer, controller, facade, service layer. What is the meaning of layer? In the layman language, it is a file. So can we write all these things in a single file? Answer is possible, but it's a tightly coupled coding, which we don't want. We want a loosely coupled coding. All the UI can be created with JSPR, tag file, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, like that. So do I have only one tag file, one HTML file? It can be multiple also. Then what is the controller? What is the facade? What is the service layer? What is the DO layer? These are all the Java files. So if you see here, in case of C language, based on the coding, you are calling with a different name. Similarly, based on the logic, what you write. Okay, so based on the logic, what you write, you will call with the different names. So when can we call a Java file is a controller? So you have auto controller orientation and mostly a request mapping, and so on, so on. So finally, if you take a flow, registration flow, do you think that there is only one controller, one facade, one service? Can be multiple also. Can be multiple also. That's it. Now let's come to the bidirectional flow. So this is a bidirectional flow here. So in case of bidirectional flow, I told the order status and so on, so on. Now tell me, in case of bidirectional flow, so the question is, what are the different layers of coding involved? What are the different layers of coding involved? Okay, what are the different layers of coding involved? What are the different layers of coding involved in case of bidirectional flow? So obviously this is the front end. So therefore UI layer or presentation layer. Then you are clicking on this order number. So that means controller. From the controller, it will go to facade layer. From facade layer, it will go to service layer. From service layer, it will go to the DO layer. That's where you write the queries. You can see here you are writing the query. So flexible search queries you write. That flexible search query is giving the results and taking and passing back to service layer. From the service layer, it will pass back to facade layer. In the facade layer, you will have converters and populators. You will have converters and populators. From that, it will come to the controller again. From the controller, you are taking and displaying in the UI or presentation layer. So these are the different layers of coding involved in the bidirectional flow. So that means here you are entering the you have the order number here. So that means presentation layer. You are clicking on this means controller. You are passing the data facade layer, service layer. Then you are fetching the data with the query DO layer, that is giving the results passing back to service layer. This service layer pass back to facade layer. There you have converter and populator. We will understand what the use of everything. Then finally, that will give to the controller. From the controller, you are taking and displaying in the UI. From the controller, you are taking and displaying in the UI. That's it. So these are the different layers of coding involved in the bidirectional flow. So far, any questions here? So far, any questions? So far, any questions?
Yes, Chenna.
Go ahead.
So you said facade layer is for business logic, right? But sometimes we write in service layer also, right?
Sorry?
In service layer also we write business logic, right?
Okay. So that's where Ravi, right? If you ask that question, I already answered this. If you see here, can you read this one, please, Ravi?
Yes.
Okay. So if you say I will write it, yeah, you can write it, not a problem. But you are not following the best practice guidelines. So that's why I'm telling what to write, where to write it. That's why I'm spending, I said I am going to cover almost 4 hours. So if you say that I will write in the core extension, no one will stop you. Even in Ravi, I can understand. Even if when I was taking the project for support, right? So when we take the project from support from some other companies, we see lots of the people just write the code wherever they want. But if you want it, yeah, you can write it, but that's not the best practice. That's why our intention is this diagram. Where is the diagram, powerful diagram? Our intention is this powerful diagram. If you are able to meet this powerful diagram, that is excellent. If you say I will write in the single file, yeah, write it. Who will stop? You are the lead, you are the manager, you are the approver. Approve it and deploy it. Right?
Got it, sir. Best practice.
Very good. Now let's come here, please. Any other questions here before we go further? Okay. If no questions, now let's begin with the presentation layer. So this is the presentation layer. What happened? So it's a time session time out here. That's why it is. So this is the presentation layer. So presentation layer or UI layer. Let's see how do we do some changes. How to do the changes. So we want to do some changes in the presentation layer or UI layer. How to do some changes. So the first example is, okay, nowadays, do you see the titles here? If you go to Flipkart, Amazon and all, do you see the titles nowadays? Do you see the titles nowadays?
No.
Okay, so your company don't want this. So this is the requirement. Your company don't want this. Then how to find this code? How to remove it? Your company don't want this. How to find the code? How to remove this? So if you want to find the code, the simplest way is, okay, so if you want to find the code, so right now what are we trying to practice? We are trying to do some UI changes or presentation changes. So the requirement one is what? Your company don't want this title. So if your company don't want this title, then the best option is, okay, so the best option is, so whatever you don't want, that place you can right click inspect element. That place you can right click and inspect element. Now take the ID or class name or name through which if you search you get less occurrences. Through which if you search you will get less occurrences. Let's say example here class name is there. So if I search with this class name farm control, am I having more results or less results? You can just check once. Okay, so I am using the class name right now, and all the UI code will be in the JSP or tag file. You need to start remembering. All the UI code will be in the JSP or tag file. So I searched it. See, there are 496 occurrences. Is it easy for me to find out from 490 occurrences? It's a difficult. So that's why I'm telling, take the, okay, so take the ID or name or class name through which if you search you get less occurrences, less occurrence results. Okay, so that by looking at the name you can understand. So farm control is kind of a general word, can be used in many places. Now title code, do you think that title code is used in many places?
No.
So let's search it. So you take the title code. Okay, so and whenever you are searching, don't search the entire thing. Search with only JSP and tag file, because all the UI code will be in the JSP or tag file. Okay, all the UI code will be in the JSP or tag file. So search it and see. Okay, one or two places are there. So that's why search with the registered dot title. So definitely this will be less occurrences. Definitely this will be less occurrences. Now you can see only 7 occurrences. So therefore, take the ID or name or class name which is having less occurrences. Now, so now results is available in 4 extensions. Out of the 4 extensions, which extension results I can focus? Only star storefront extension. Remaining you don't need to focus. I told you already, all the UI code is there in the star storefront. Okay, so therefore you can focus only here. You can focus only here. So here there is a registered data tag. You can see name is also matching. Here you can see registered data tag. Name is also matching. Name is also matching. And you can see, so this is the code which is giving the title. So I can delete it. Now what is the guarantee that this is the correct code? You can come to the UI. and refresh. You can come to the UI and refresh it. So do you see the title now?
No.
Do you see the title now? No. So that means this is the correct code. Like this, you can find out the code and do it. Like this, you can find out the code and do the changes. Like this, you can find out the code and do the changes. Now, let's say you deleted the titles. You deleted the UI. Then you don't need this in the database also, right? If you don't want those in the databases, you can see there is a user, there is a title. User, there is a title. So these are the titles you are displaying here. So to prove it, let's modify one. To prove it, let's modify one. So I will use the identifier as 1, 2, 3 here. Click on save, come here, refresh it. So you can see 1, 2, 3 is coming. So therefore, if you don't want some of the values and all, you can come here and delete from the database. You can come here and delete from the database. Like this, you can control the data and you can remove the UI element. Like this, you can control the data and remove the UI element. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. Next is second requirement. So right now, what is there? Can you see this one, please? Right now, there is a first name, last name, like that is there. But your company want one more thing here called address. Your company want one more thing here called address. So let's say your company want something like a enter address, which is not here right now. They want enter address, which is not here right now. Okay, so this is the second requirement. So this is the requirement 2. Let's see how do we do this. Is that clear? Second requirement?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So now let's see how do we do this. This is the second requirement. Okay, so if you want to do that, then what we can do is, okay, what we can do is that, so we know that this is the, just now we searched that file, right? That's called register.tag, right? Register.tag. And here, so after last name you want it, so therefore you can copy this and paste it one more time. Okay, you can copy that and paste it one more time and give the name as, okay, register.enter address. Register.enter address and refresh it. Okay, and refresh it. Is it coming? Is it coming?
Yes.
Yes, it's coming. But the challenge right now is what? It is not having the proper name. It is not having the proper name. How to get the proper name? Proper display name.
Add
Proper
locate the
display label
property.
name in the property files. So therefore, what I can do is that I can go and see where it is available. I can go and see where it is available in the property files. Okay, properties file. I can go and see where it is available in the properties file and to open the property file, which is a English one. So right now I am the English, and you can also see, please, that properties are available in the other extensions also. You don't need to focus on other extensions. You can only focus on this one. And to open the English one, okay, open the English one. So this is the one, right? So you can copy this and paste it. You can copy this and paste it. And what is the name we have given here? Enter address. You can go here and paste it and say enter address. Okay, so you can see enter address. So this is what you can give it. And that is what you are referencing here. Now come to the UI and refresh once. Now you can see enter address is coming. Come here, refresh it, enter address is coming. So this is how you can do the UI changes. This is the second requirement. So this is the second requirement. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Next, let's see the third requirement. What is the third requirement? If you see the password, I can enter whatever I want now. You can see password, I can enter whatever I want now. I don't want that much. I want to limit the password to 20 characters. I want to limit password to 20 characters. Okay, so limit the password to 20 characters. And so on, so this is the third requirement. Like this, you can have any requirements and start doing the UI changes here. Then so this is what you can, so here I want to do the changes, right? Right click, inspect element and see what is it. So it is an input box. It is an input box. So therefore you can search some code. You can go here and search some code. HTML5 input type max length, right? Okay, input type max length, and you can see here. So they are having a property called max length. So I will use this. And please remember this, you can also apply dynamically here and test it. You can also apply dynamically here and test it. So I will dynamically put this and put this as a 20 and check if it is allowing 20 or not. Can you see this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now whatever I'm typing, it's allowing. Wait, it's allowing. Oh, okay. Sorry. Here it is. There is no value here. Max length is 20. Hit enter. What happened? Am I putting in the right place? So let's say pass.
Closed form control. After that, double quotes is missing.
Okay, max length 20. Hit enter.
Before max length, the double quotes is missing.
Oh, okay. I'm putting in this. Okay, that's wrong, right? Okay, good. So not in the form control. I need to put outside, right? Yeah, here. Max length space, let's say 20. Okay, now it's good. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now whatever I type, it's not accepting. Like this also, you can do the changes in the UI directly and verify it. Instead of doing in the coding every time. Like this, you can do it. Once you think that is the correct one, now you can go to the register.tag and specify that property. What is that? Max password, right? Here you can specify max length. Okay, so equal to 40 or 20, whatever you want, you can specify. Like this, you can do the UI changes. Like this, you can identify the corresponding UI, corresponding existing UI. That's it. Like this, you can do the UI changes. Like this, you can identify the corresponding existing UI. That's it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, good. So any questions so far? If no questions, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so if no questions, now let's see. Okay, you are entering lots of data here. After entering the data, you click on register. Okay, you click on register. When you click on register, what will be called? When you click on register, what will be called?
Registration control.
Controller. Now the question is how to find the existing controller logic. How to find the existing controller logic. So I want to find out where is the code. So that means when I click on the, so I shown you where is the code for last name, first name, how to do the changes and all, right? Similarly, I want to show you the code for the register button. Where is the code written, how the code is written and all. So therefore, how to find the existing controller logic? So if you want to find out, so solution one is what? Okay, so if you want to find out, so when you click on this one, so what is the controller? Controller tells where to go, what to do. Controller tells where to go, what to do, where to go, what to do, where to go, what to do. So therefore, I will right click inspect element and see what is this. Can you guys observe this one? I right click inspect element. When I right click inspect element, this is a button. Button will have submit. Submit will have action. And what is the action here? You can see. What is the action here? Okay, so action is it is going to this place. Please understand this. Please understand this. So when you click on the button, okay. Now observe this one, please. So this is the button. Okay, so because of this button is coming. That's good. Now that button is having action. So that means when you click on that button, this is where it is going. When you click on that button, this is where it is going. Now you need to understand one thing. Okay, now right now you are here. Right now you are here. And when you click on the button, this is where it is going. Now where is the difference? Tell me. Difference is where? So this is the same. Language is same. And the slash login is same. And what the difference?
Slash register.
So that means when you, so this is the difference. So that means this one you need to focus where it is available. So therefore slash register you need to check where it is available. So this will be available where? Star controller.java. Controller.java. Hit enter. You can see there are 20 occurrences. Out of the 20 occurrences, okay, do I need to focus on first one, third one, fourth one? Do I need to focus on first one, third one, fourth one? No. No, you don't need to focus. Why? Because I told controller code is in the star storefront extension. You can focus only here. You can focus only here. Here also, you can see there are multiple places. Here also, you can see there are multiple places. So the first one is what? CAPTCHA. Am I doing CAPTCHA code right now?
No.
No. Okay, that's why leave it. Am I doing checkout right now? Everyone, please unmute and speak. Am I doing checkout right now? No.
No.
That's why this is the wrong one. Am I doing checkout registration?
No.
Checkout registration? No, right? So then the possibilities are what? Login or registration. Login or registration. So let's go with the login registration first. If I go to the registration, you can see the request mapping. Okay, if I go to the registration page controller, so you can see there is a slash register here. There is a slash register here, but where is the slash login? After language, whatever you have, you should find it here. Do I see login here?
No.
Do I see login here? No, that means this is the wrong one. Do I see login here? No, so that means this is the wrong one. Then we have only one choice, right? What is the one, the other choice? Login page controller. Now let's go to the login page controller and see. In the login page controller, okay, in the login page controller, you can see there is a slash register method. You can see there is a slash register method. Now, can you observe this code, please? So I am thinking that this is the correct controller. Why I am thinking this is the correct controller? So that means when you click on the register button, this will be called. Why this will be called? You can see this pattern is matched. Okay, So slash register is available here, and slash login is available here. So that means action URL is matching with the controller request mapping. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
Chenna.
Chenna.
Action URL is matching with the controller request mapping. So that's why I'm thinking that this is the correct controller. So that means when you click on the register, so this is the one which will be called. When I click on the controller, this is the one which will be called. Now you should ask one question, right? What is the question? What is the question you should ask? How to prove that this is the correct controller? Okay, how to prove that this is the correct controller? So if you want to prove that, then the option is we need to do the debug. We need to debug the code. So now the question is how to debug the code. So if you want to debug the code, step number 1, start the server in debug mode. Start the server in debug mode. So till yesterday, how did we start the server? Till yesterday, how did we start the server? We went to the platform folder. Okay, platform folder, and typed Hybris server.bat, right? Then, so to start in debug mode, so you can go to the platform folder. You can go to the platform folder, type Hybris server.bat space debug. Is that clear? That's the difference. Are you guys are there?
Yes, Chenna.
Yes, Chenna.
Now you can see I started in the debug. You can see, can you observe my screenshot? So you can see it's coming debug here. That means I started in the debug. So next point is, so this is the step number 1. So next point is debug will run at a specific port number. Specific port number. So now the question number 1 is how to find what port number is used. So for that, what you can do is that you can go to your software, go to platform, go to the project.properties. In the project.properties, search for debug. Okay, you can see, so search for debug. What is the port number it is using? What is the port number it is using?
8000.
8000. Okay, how to find what is the default port number used? So this is the one. Now the question number 2 is what happens if this 8000 already used by some other application? Okay, so your Hybris server will not start. Your Hybris server will not start. Then what is the next question? So in this case, so let's say port is already used. Then how to check what ports are used? So for that you can go to the command window and type netstat. Netstat. So you can see it's trying to show one by one. So what port numbers are used like that. So assume that so like this you can find out. So the next question is what? So how to change the port number? How to change the debug port number? So if you want to change the debug port number, then what you can do is that you can copy this line of code. You can copy this line of code, go to the local.properties. Okay, go to the local.properties and paste that line and change it to port number whatever you want. So let's say you change it to 8292 like that. Is that clear?
Yes, Chenna.
Okay, so this is that's why in the real time mostly we use the different port number here. You can check that in the local dot properties. So in the local dot properties, you can do the change. That's it. Then step number 2. Once that is done, go to Eclipse. Okay, now wherever you want to debug the code, put the breakpoint there. So I want to put the breakpoint here. So can you see this one? Right now the breakpoint is like a dot, right? Right now the breakpoint is like a dot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so therefore go to Eclipse, put the breakpoint. Put the breakpoint. After putting the breakpoint, okay, click on this bug icon. Go to debug configuration. Go to debug configuration, and you can go to the remote Java application. Okay, so remote Java application, and you can specify what is the port number. So my server is running here only. So that means localhost, and what is the port number? 8000.
8929.
Okay, 8000. Okay, and say debug. And say debug. So now you can see it is launching in the debug mode. It is launching in the debug mode here. So it will take around 1 minute because it will load all the code and try to understand and all. Okay, so then let it go. Now come here. Okay, now so we are entering the data here, right? Let's say title. So ChennaReddyTraining. Okay, ChennaReddyTraining@gmail.com, and password is 1234 1234 1234 1234. Now if I click on register, if it is coming and stopping here, then do you think that this is the correct controller? Okay,
Yes, Chenna.
if I click on register, if the flow comes and stop here, do you think that this is the correct controller? This is the correct method
Yes.
called for the registration?
Yes.
Answer is yes. Let's prove it. So therefore, when I click on the register, if the controller flow comes here and stop it or hold it, that means this is the correct controller, this is the correct method called or executed when you click on register. When you click on register, that way we can prove that this is the correct code for that particular register button. This is the correct code for that particular register button. So before debug start, okay, now can you see this one please? Now do you see it's a pin? Earlier it is a dot, right? Now it is a pin. So that means debug is successful. Now click on this and see. Click on this and see. So do you see that flow is coming and stopping here? That
Yes,
flow
Chenna.
coming and stopping here.
Yes.
This is how you can find out the correct controller. This is how you can find out the correct controller. That's it here. We'll continue the remaining tomorrow. So this is how you can find out the correct controller. That's it, and we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, so that's it. We'll continue tomorrow. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Else, we'll catch up tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.